Hello, welcome to Rev Sports. This is Ishan Shahane alongside Devashish. As you all know, we both are in the USA, and it's been a fantastic tour for us at the moment. We've been trying to get as much content out for you. Today was India's training session. Devashish, both of us were present. You had your eyes locked in that training session. You were there for a continuous period for I think couple of hours. So I think you've seen a lot. You've seen that unfortunate incident that took place with Rohit Sharma. Virat Kohli is taking multiple throwdowns, and of course the bowlers as well. So let's break this training session down for our viewers. Why don't you get started off and
Yeah,
tell us?
obviously the talking point of the practice happened to be Virat's injury. In fact, Rohit's injury. So what exactly happened was Rohit was taking throwdowns from Nuwan Senaviratne and Dayanand, and a ball suddenly it just bounced and hit him in his right thumb. It
Okay.
was his right thumb. We did share a video, but we cannot use it on the social media because of restrictions. But then he was in some sort of concern. But the good news was that he was after having a look, he again started
All
batting.
right.
So that clears all doubts whatsoever, which means obviously there was no ice pack being applied.
So it wasn't
So
something
that
too
what so
too
that is
serious.
the most
Okay.
heartening thing, is that no ice pack was
No ice
applied.
pack.
So that means that proves that it was not a sore, it was only a bit of a niggle,
All
means
right.
of it. And he did bat it for a few minutes later on. And then what was more interesting was, Ishan, he actually went to the other end of the net, mm, and again batted. So
After getting that blow, he
after
went to
getting
an
that,
okay.
the same net, he batted from the other end.
All right. Okay.
Means normally what happens is, when you have a net, the bowlers come in from the
Yes.
other end and bowl.
Yes.
But what he did, after he got hit, after he got injured, he batted for a few minutes, and then he decided to go from the other. So
Okay.
it proves that the wickets, there were some uneven bounces, a few balls were
Exactly.
picking up.
You know,
So
that's my next question for you, Divish. Actually, there's been a lot of question and a lot of concerns about the wickets, and I've heard you speak as well before in the day that some balls kept low, some balls kept went bounced higher than usual. So, do you think this is the reason why that one must have just leaped a little higher and hit him on his?
yes, that
Yeah.
has all been the talking point ever since we arrived here in New York. Means obviously this drop in wickets means that because of this spongy nature, few balls are bouncing awkwardly, few are keeping low, and a doubt being created in the
Right.
minds of the batters.
Right.
So and there was another aspect today. If just before the Indian team were practicing, it was the same three wickets where the South African team also practiced.
Okay.
And what was interesting, Ishan,
Hmm.
was that all the South African pacers in the of Kagiso Rabada, Henrik Nokia, they did not bowl at the Proteas batters in the nets. They were bowling at an empty nets in
Okay.
the presence of Eric Simmons, their fast bowling coach. So they did not wanted to injure their
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
batters.
That's
Means that
true.
was a precautionary
Because they
measure.
were so worried
So
that the pitch
yes,
might
they
act
were
up, and
also having a
yeah.
concern because they play today. Today
Okay.
they have a game.
Okay. Okay.
So this is some sort of concern, a worry for everyone, whoever is playing in
It
this
is
venue.
because it's unfortunate, Devashish. I mean, because of the pitch, who do we actually blame here? But if the pitch is not maintained to the highest quality and one of your premium batters gets injured, then who do you put who do you raise your questions to? So I think maybe some more effort can be done to rectify these pitches.
Yes, ICC did issue
Yeah.
a statement saying that and they will take all measures so as to improve the standard of pitch. But the problem is that means how big a difference will it make? Means obviously with a few days, means 2 or 3
Yes.
days. What improvement can we see? And that goes to be seen. But then the talking point has been the wickets
The
here.
wickets, yes. So the wickets haven't really lived up to expectation. That's what I think all our viewers will know as well. When we were at the stadiums, when we came out of the stadiums, there were a lot of fans as well from match day who had given their inputs of how the pitch hasn't lived up to expectations. Virat Kohli is another talking point here, Devashish. You mentioned that he's getting plenty of throwdowns, and let's talk about that. So was he in an intensive practice session, like once again for a long hour session?
Yeah, Virat, obviously he was the first to go into the nets along with
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant, and he took throwdowns again from Nuan and Dayanand. Initially, it went on for half an hour,
Okay.
and by that time, Rishabh Pant was facing the likes of Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj, Kuldeep Yadav, and Ravindra Jadeja. Then, after half an hour, both of them switched nets,
Hmm.
and but then Virat looked very focused. Means obviously, and these days, if you notice, he always takes throwdowns.
Yeah.
Means
Yeah.
and to fine tune himself, and then he faces the bowlers. So
Yes.
I think, and he looked quite confident the time he batted at the nets, and hopefully make a mark. And we all hope, because he's a big match player, and
Absolutely. And against
given,
Pakistan,
yes,
maybe.
absolutely, and given his track record against Pakistan,
Yeah.
everyone would hope, every Indian fan would hope that he goes on to play a great now.
Absolutely,
Shan.
Devashish. And I think the throwdown helps because, when you're facing the likes of Shine Shah, Haris Rauf, Naseem Shah, you want some sort of a reality of what might hit you on match day. So do you think that's one of the reasons why those intensive
Yeah,
throwdowns
actually,
was,
as we talk, we
yeah,
could see that
yeah, these are the visuals.
Rahul from our back end is sharing the pictures of
Yes.
the practice. This was the moment after Rohit got hit.
Okay.
So he
So
went
he
to the other
wasn't
end. See,
flustered, right? Or was he
no, no, no,
flustered?
no, no. He wasn't clustered. Means obviously
Okay.
it was just a precautionary measure that he stopped batting
But when you
for
were
a
watching
few
it from
minutes.
outside, did you think that
Yeah,
this is serious?
we all thought that it might be a serious
Okay.
concern, but to the relief of everyone present at the nets area, means obviously the media covering, the
Hmm.
Indian media particularly, we were all relieved to see that Rohit once again putting on his gloves and starting to bat again. So
Yeah.
that is a huge relief, good news for the Indian fans, the Indian team
Yes.
management, and everyone, because you want your captain to be fit and raring to
100%. Yeah.
go for the big match coming up
Did
against
he look as
Pakistan.
fluent though, Devashi? I have to ask you because we mentioned in the match against Ireland he got his 50, but probably not at his fluent best. At this practice session, did you think he looked fluent?
No, there were a bit of concerns. Means obviously
Okay.
a few of the deliveries, means picking up, means obviously some awkward bounces. So this is what is
Yeah.
going on in the minds of the batters, every batters. And so as I did mention, when the South Africans were practicing on the same three wickets that the
Hmm.
Indian trend, means they also, and the fast bowlers, their fast bowlers Rabada, Nokia, did not bowl at their own batters. They
Okay.
were bowling at an empty net, which was observed
Because
by
it's not
their
worth the
bowling coach.
risk as such.
Absolutely,
Yes. Yeah.
absolutely, it is definitely not worth the risk and injuring your premier batter.
Yeah, you're right. And Devashish, I think the bowlers also had a good day out. You mentioned Shivam Dube, if I'm right. Shivam Dube had a bowl at the net, so we can expect him to bowl against that Pakistan team.
Yes, Shivam Dube did roll his arms for a long
Yeah.
time, and he has been given a ball in the practice session. So if there is an opportunity, if there is a situation that you need your an other option, he can be that other option. Means as far
Yeah.
as bowling is concerned, and we all know Hardik Pandya has been bowling regularly. He has bowled in the matches as well. So that itself means, and the best part of this Indian team, as Rohit did mention
Hmm.
in his pre-match press conference against, if ahead of the game against Ireland, that he had the luxury of four all-rounders
Yes.
in this team, means with the likes of Ravindra Jadeja,
Yes.
Akshar Patel, Shivam Dube.
Took. Okay, I
But
think Rahul. Yeah.
we are not allowed to use
Mhm.
these visuals on this social media. But then definitely, if Rahul can use some practice pics, we can talk more in details
Yes, Rahul. I think
about the
some
stills.
practice photos will also be great. But I'm excited to see Shivam Dube, Devashi. I think in the IPL, everyone is talking about that. Maybe he should bowl. Maybe if he wants to get himself in that playing level as a permanent fixture, he should be bowling as well. So it's good news that he's bowling the nets, and I'm looking forward to seeing him bowling against Pakistan. I think he might come really handy. Rishabh Pant, did he also have a bat today?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. He batted alongside Virat Kohli at the start, and he looked confident. Obviously, it's not about the confidence. More so, it's about the wickets that is
Yes.
creating a concern for the Indian batters. Means obviously, and it will remain so. Means obviously, the game against Pakistan, although ICC is taking measures so as to improve the standard of wicket, but there will be um, that that
Hmm.
in mind. How will the wicket behave? Obviously, a lot will depend on the toss.
A lot will
Everyone
depend on
here
toss.
has accepted the fact that toss
Yes.
is going to be paramount. Means obviously when you have conditions stay highly in favor of the bowlers, which was not the case in the recently concluded IPL, where batsman
Yeah.
had a ball. Means obviously batsman had enjoyed
Yes.
the batting stress, but back here in New York, means obviously it's the other way around. It's the bowlers who are having a ball. Means obviously and conditions are has heavily
But
stacked
do you
in
think
favor.
the team winning the toss has the greater probability of winning this, like a World Cup game? Do
Yeah,
you truly believe
absolutely,
that? Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, actually, if
No
you see
matter
the
how
scores,
strong
if
the
you
other
see the
side might
scores,
be
if you
on
see the
paper.
scores,
Yeah.
these are all low scoring
Yeah.
scores. Low scoring targets. Obviously, India did
That's
put.
Rishabh Pant there. I think
Yeah,
he's.
he batted
If you look at
alongside.
this visually, seems like he knows that he missed out of playing cricket. He's back in Indian colors, and it seems like he really wants to play. I think, like you mentioned that he seems very focused as well. He wants to be there. He wants to perform. So that intent is very important again, Devashish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's all about intent. Means
yeah,
obviously when you are playing for India, you obviously that intent will always be there with you. And then given that you are playing against, you'll be up against facing a team like Pakistan,
Hmm.
and obviously, and especially facing the likes of Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris
Yeah,
Rauf, Mohammad Amir, and Nasim Shah. So,
yes.
and Pakistan, for me, in all probability, will be going in with the four fast bowlers. So to
Especially with overcast conditions that we
yes,
saw today as well. Yeah,
and also, but then it when the Indians trained today, it was bright and sunny.
and then
There
after
was
that
no
it became
semblance.
yes,
It
yeah,
only became overcast towards later half of the day, which is the case, which is the forecast as well on
Virat
Sunday.
Kohli again
Yes, that
intent. Yes,
obviously, as I was talking about the weather forecast, obviously on Sunday, the game day, once again it will be partly cloudy in the morning,
Hmm.
but then towards the later half day of the day
Yeah,
there will be thunder showers. So, but hopefully we'll get a full game on, and that is what we want for. That is what the spectators will be hoping, because
hopefully.
huge anticipation for the match. We all expect that it will be a full house, which was not the case in the game against Ireland,
Ireland,
where
yes.
there were plenty of empty stands. But then, yeah, and you could see Aiden Markram having a fun chat with Mohammad
This is what
Siraj
the
and
IPL does, right,
see
Devashish?
Virat Kohli
Yeah.
also
Oh,
had also with Aiden Markram. It was
lovely.
just at the start of the practice session.
Do you
So
think if the IPL did not exist, this would have been happening? Two teams playing, looking to win the World Cup, and players just having a normal, casual
yeah,
conversation.
but then that yes, there is rivalry when they
Yeah.
get onto the field, but apart from the match, means off the field, they are best of friends. Means every player from every country,
Hmm.
whoever who plays IPL, are best of friends.
That's
They
true.
have a good camaraderie. Obviously, they share the bonding. Obviously, so that is the beauty of IPL.
Absolutely right, Devesh. I think I cut you off when I asked you, the team winning the toss. Most likely, you think that team has the greater chances of winning that game. You were about to mention some
Yeah,
scores.
obviously,
Yeah,
toss is going to be a huge factor. Even ex cricketers like Navjot Singh Sidhu and Harbhajan Singh did mention that toss is going to be a huge factor. And as
that's a
you speak,
pitch.
we could
Yeah.
actually look at the wicket. Those are the four drop-in wickets at the
Okay.
Nassau County International Stadium, where the matches are being played.
Yes.
And we could let's be fair to ICC also. They did not have the had enough time to prepare the wickets. Obviously, for drop-in wickets, you
Hmm.
need some time to settle down. They hardly got 2 months
So
to prepare the
the
wickets. It
process was
was
very rushed in, you would say.
absolutely, it was
Yeah.
somewhat rushed in because of the time frame. But then, did what they should have they would have hoped to do was to have some practice games before
Absolutely.
the actual tournament started.
Absolutely, Devesh. Yes. And I think it's only fair we speak a little bit about this Pakistan team as well. Some interesting updates on that end. And obviously India Pakistan clashes, it's a big encounter. So, I think you were telling me off camera how that event got cancelled and after that massive loss against USA. So why don't you go tell our viewers
Yeah,
as well about
I
that?
was I was having a
Yeah.
word with a few of the Pakistani journalists who are in New York to cover the game, and they were also saying that there was an event planned where Babar Azam and a few other Pakistani players were supposed to
Hmm.
visit, but that plan has to be called off because there have been tremendous backlash back home in
Tremendous. Yes.
Pakistan after the loss against USA. So and all they are trying to focus now is to win the match against India so as to stay in the tournament. Obviously, Pakistan will have a chance. I mean, they do have a chance, is irrespective of the result. But then they will have to depend on results from other matches in the
But
group.
Devashi, the pressure on Babar Azam must be just something
Yes, and
that,
absolutely, and
yeah,
he has to take it in his own stride. Means he has to accept his mistakes. Obviously, when you had someone like a
yeah.
Shaheen Shah Afridi to bowl over super over, he preferred to give it to Mohammad Amir. But having said that, Mohammad Amir did had a decent spell. But then, having said that, your premier bowler is Shaheen Shah Afridi. These things, as a captain, you have to accept it. But then the real challenge for them
Mhm.
will be the game against India. And
Yeah,
remember that their record against India in ICC events have not been that
have
great.
not been the best. Yeah, and I think the Indians will definitely back themselves in that big game against Pakistan. But before we end this segment here, Devashish, that's Harris Rauf for you. Harris Rauf will be someone that the Pakistanis will be really
Acha,
rooting for. Yeah, any
yeah, there's an update about the Afghanistan and New Zealand game.
New Zealand are all out for 75. Oh my God. Okay, this is some fascinating news. Devashish,
Means
what do you?
obviously this has been a
So
tournament.
all the underdog teams are actually coming,
This
showing
has
the
been a
showing the
World Cup of
colors.
low scoring results. And
Wow. So would
uh,
you blame the pitch now, or would you blame the batters? I mean, it's do
means
you do you think the pitch is causing all of
I
this?
would say the conditions are not overly in favor of the batting, I would say. And this is something totally opposite what we
Yeah.
saw in IPL, where runs were
Yes. Yeah.
scored in heap.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is fascinating news. I think a lot of cricket fans all over the world will be, very surprised with all the action that's taking place. First USA, now Afghanistan. But Devashish, in the IPL we complained about. We didn't complain, but it almost became a story where everyone was talking about, how the bowlers are taking, the massive punishment here, and now the bowlers are getting those wickets. So, there has to be a balance somewhere. And if you're watching
No,
the
that's
game,
the beauty of a game of
yes,
cricket. In the game of cricket, means when you should have that even contest between bat and ball. Means obviously it's not the bowlers who should dominate, but you should also have the bowlers also having some help from the wickets, and that's the beauty of a game of cricket. Means when you have even
yeah.
contest between the bat and ball.
What do you think a good pass total might be in this World Cup, Devashi? It's too early to
It
say,
has
but
already
but
been proven that it's going to be a low scoring World Cup. Means
yes.
at least initially, if you look at the matches, the scores, and particularly here in New York, means obviously teams have struggled to put on
Yeah.
a big score. Yes, leaving aside India when they put on 180 plus against, but in the warm up match against Bangladesh,
So
but the other matches so far has been low scoring ones.
yeah, you're
Ishan.
right. And I think Rahul just posted a photo of Jasprit Bumrah as well. He must have been lethal as well. But Devashi, before we end the segment here, why don't we just address the fans one last time? So no major injury, everyone is fit, everyone is looking good, and this Indian team is looking really strong against Pakistan.
Yeah, absolutely. They should start as favorites, given that they have done well and they have that firepower. Means obviously, once again, another guy
Yeah.
who it will be very interesting whether Akshar Patel or Kuldeep Yadav who gets picked. Obviously, Kuldeep Yadav.
There were a lot of fans, I have to tell you, who told me that, they wished Kuldeep had played or plays more in this tournament. So,
But then what playing Akshar is that you have that option of of him batting as well.
yeah,
He has that on any given day he's a better batter than Kuldeep Yadav. So that might have prompted influenced the team in going with Akshar in the match against Ireland.
that's true. And I think his fielding abilities as well, and Aksar Patel, just that all round abilities really helps the Indian team. Bumrah was shown as well on the screen. Yeah, he's again someone that the Pakistani will have to watch out for. Jasprit Bumrah, probably the world's best T20 bowler and all format bowler at the moment. So again, I think the Pakistanis will be under pressure after that loss, and then up against
But then
Bumrah.
the big news is New Zealand getting bowled out for 175.
That's shocking news. I
Means
mean,
absolutely shocking. Means um, unbelievable.
but to be fair, I think the news of USA beating Pakistan was the bigger upset,
Yeah,
in my
obviously,
opinion. Yeah.
and Pakistan being Pakistan, their
What did
unpredictability
the
of.
Pakistani journalists say?
Yeah,
Devash? I'd like to know.
they are also very annoyed. They are very annoyed. They are at the same time disappointed because Means obviously this was the only match. Means and then all of a sudden you end up losing against USA,
Yeah.
which was not expected. So a lot of backlashes back home, back in Pakistan. Also, the media, the Pakistani media, is also criticizing the Pakistani team, including the career captain Babar Azam, and we know what happens with Pakistan cricket if they lose against India and
Yeah.
knocked out. Obviously,
That'll be shocking.
you never know. Once again, we might see a change in captaincy.
Babar Azam will be
Yes,
under a lot of pressure.
he is
Yes.
already is. He already is, and obviously, if you lose to Minos, means obviously with due respect to USA,
Yes.
if you lose to Minos like USA, you have to accept that you did not do well, and that has been the case.
Yeah, and another fascinating topic that I would like to discuss with you, Debashish, that we both were reading the newspapers today. Not much coverage. After a great win against Pakistan, you would expect.
Yes,
Like, come on, like
yeah,
maybe some more newspapers, a bigger
unfortunately,
headline.
yes. Obviously, you did go and
Yeah.
buy. Went to the 7-Eleven store to grab a couple of newspapers, but unfortunately, New York Times did not carry
No,
it.
none,
It's
none.
only Newsday
Yes.
that carried. Obviously, it was a full page report on USA's win. I was having a word with Syed Rifai,
Hmm.
and the former ex-secretary of USA Cricket Association. We're going to put up the video of the interview of him. He also spoke at length about the rise of
Yeah.
cricket in the USA. Obviously, most of these cricketers, they are not for professionals, but
Most of them
someone
actually
like a
doing jobs on the
Netravalkar,
side.
someone like
Yes.
a Saurav Netravalkar,
Yeah.
means obviously a
I played for
software.
India under 19.
Yes, software engineer, and then play doing so well for USA speaks volumes, obviously, and they have to have a window. Means obviously
Mhm.
he was speaking about Major League Cricket, but then the problem is that they do not have a window.
Yeah.
Means just
But
unlike what
yes.
we have it in IPL or
Yes.
Big Bash League or 100, but they don't have the major window. And another thing is that the infrastructure. See, we are
But they
here,
have
right?
such great infrastructure, Dipesh. I think they should
But
make
then
more
when it
use of
comes
it
to
instead
cricket,
of. Yeah.
they have none.
But they can invest in that.
Yes,
Don't you think?
absolutely.
Yeah.
That has been the worrying factor. Means obviously they could have easily built up a new stadium and given. And now I think now they will be with such a kind of
Mhm.
result, with USA winning against Pakistan. That might just be the catalyst
So,
to
if I have to ask you, would you say in the future, say 10 years, 15 years down the line, do you think local youngsters will end up picking up a bat and ball, or do you think they'll still hold on to a baseball bat?
I still reckon it will be a challenge, means
Okay.
so as to get into the household of common US citizen. But then, given the fact that obviously cricket was played in this country way back, but
Yes.
then ever since we saw baseball and other sports dominating. But then the biggest challenge lies how you have this T20 World Cup.
Absolutely. I
I
think
think this will be huge if they can hold a successful World Cup, leaving aside what has happened with the wickets so
yes.
far. But then we want cricket to be spread across globally.
100% Devesh. I think we definitely want cricket to be spread across globally, and I think with time, maybe hopefully this US culture also adopts the game of cricket. Devashish, I've enjoyed this chat with you. I think we've spoken about the Indian practice session. We've spoken
and
about
and
Rohit
and, and
Sharma's.
obviously
Yes.
obviously it's in a few hours from now we'll be again sharing all the updates from India's optional practice session. Ishan,
Absolutely.
both of us will be at
Yeah.
the training session. Pakistan are also scheduled to train. In fact,
We'll be giving you all the
there was a
updates.
team bus at the end during the Indian nets, and what we the journalists were a bit confused whether the Pakistan team were there for training. But then
Yeah.
the doubts were cleared. I had a word with uh, the driver of the team coach, Pakistani team coach, and he said no, it was only the support staff a few of the support staff who have come to see the arrangements, the practice arrangements.
Devashish, before we end this, actually, there was a photo of Rahul Dravid. How important is it?
I,
How important is this tournament?
hugely important
I
for.
think we haven't spoken about this enough. I think this is an interesting
Yes,
point to speak
absolutely.
about. Yeah.
It is, and Rohit Sharma spoke
Yeah.
at length in his pre-match press conference before the game against Ireland, obviously, and you could actually see, and most of the play, in fact, everyone in this team has a huge respect for Rahul
For
Dravid,
Rahul Dravid, yeah.
given his stature, given his he has been a real great cricketer for India. And Rohit spoke about his camaraderie with
Yes, yeah.
Rahul Dravid, and both of them share huge mutual respect. So and it will be an icing on the cake if the team can present and the World Cup
That
means,
will
and
be
that will be
the
great. Means,
complete
so
icing on the cake, yes. And yeah, you're right, Divesh. I think, so much I've spoken about so many different topics, and Rahul Dravid I felt was missed out. So I'm glad we spoke on that. And I'm happy that we had this conversation. I'm happy that there's so many people who've tuned into us, 1,625 people. So thank you all for tuning
yes,
in.
thank you
We
for
need
all
all
your
the
support.
support.
Yes, absolutely.
We've been working hard. We've been trying to give you all the content as possible, and we're going to make sure that we continue giving you all the content on a regular basis, hourly basis, and also breaking news. So, Devashish, thank you again for this chat. Thank you again for this conversation. And thank you to all our viewers. We hope you enjoyed the show. We will be coming, I think we'll be starting the show on a daily basis, 8 a.m. We are starting the show on a daily basis, 8 a.m. So make sure that you tune in. And then, of course, there's a 9 a.m. show as well. So make sure you tune in for all the shows. Make sure you watch all the content and make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. This is Ishan and Devashish from the Ref Sports signing off from US. Thank you.